It really pushed me to figure out how serious I am about this for one, and also it just kept me accountable for what I was doing. Usually when I'm doing stuff, I'm having a good time, but it's not super serious. I'm not staying on a serious method. But with this, it really gave me like a help with how to break down going through a project, areas of importance, how to start when you're not having an idea. Like when I reached out to you for reference about, I'm struggling to think of stuff, and you gave me a good recommendation of how to go about it. Getting that feedback, getting responses from y'all.
So before you joined Industry Set, what were the main concerns you had with your production?
Really just some of the main concerns were sound design and mixdowns, kind of getting more of a clear and concise sound of what I'm doing while still having some like distortion to it. But arrangement, definitely just all around kind of putting it together in a way that I thought sounded more to the level of people I was listening to, not just in-house studio guy. A lot of the stuff like through builds and transitions, that was a big thing. I think helped me out quite a bit. Also just like the in-depth feedback with Callum and him just giving his perspective and like his breakdown of how he would go through things really helped a lot with like my drops for sure, especially when it came to like loudness, arrangement, just overall style of it really gave me a lot more ideas and clarity of what I should be trying to do and like areas I need to focus on, like drums, kicks, snares for sure, like having those pop out in the mix. And like, really without some of the references he gave me or like ideas he gave me of what he does, I don't think I probably would have eventually found out how to do it, but like going through the process of doing it with him helped insanely. So I just really think overall like, improvement of just the sound along with just the style and placement of everything going on helped a lot.
What did you think about the entire process of learning? Because the way that I've built this program, it's not the orthodox approach of
Oh, I liked it way more. I liked the challenge. I liked staying consistently busy. It really pushed me to figure out how serious I am about this for one, and also it just kept me accountable for what I was doing. Usually when I'm doing stuff, I'm having a good time, but it's not super serious. I'm not staying on a serious method. But with this, it really gave me like a help with how to break down going through a project, areas of importance, how to start when you're not having an idea. Like when I reached out to you for reference about, I'm struggling to think of stuff, and you gave me a good recommendation of how to go about it. Getting that feedback, getting responses from y'all. Just overall, like I thought the build of it was great in terms of y'all picked up where I left off essentially, like I was at, and just helped me grow from there based on what I was expressing to you guys, which I thought helped me way more than going through like full course of you got to relearn this and relearn
Yep.
that and relearn all this. I just thought the way it was orchestrated was very well put together for somebody who's not really trying to go full on into this whole re-education system, but rather get really good at teaching from two guys who are already in the industry and have more of a clear way of telling you like don't overthink, don't dive too deep into it, rely on ears and sound. Just it was really good getting that feedback as well because like times I'll be doing this, is this actually something good, is it sounding right, is it there, and hearing somebody like Callum who's experienced releasing music give proper feedback and give like real response like definitely boosted confidence and also just like gave me a better understanding of like here's where I need to work on, this is exactly what I need to do, and this is coming from a guy who's already in it, so it helps the whole mindset and just mental state, I guess.
Absolutely. And that's the benefit of as well as us being able to write down and track things as we progress with having that board and whatnot. So if I can bring up your board real quick, and we can just
Yeah, the
read.
board helped a ton because it was whatever he would write down. I didn't really focus on like gains, the positives, but
Yep.
like whatever negatives he would write down, it was basically like whatever he wrote that week, the next week, like, focus really hard on that, dive into that, and then just keep building off of it.
Absolutely. So if we just zoom in here, and I've got a mega big screen, but you can see here, I remember there was some drum stuff, a few drum recurring things, not just really drums and
Really, it was drums. It was just
drum stuff again, drums, more movement, low end, side chain, less drum stuff coming up now. Was this week 6?
this was going into the originals.
Really just more like sing stuff at this point.
Yep.
Getting some good feedback. It's more just like this stage, week 8, sounds like it's just really just like gain staging stuff of drums and elements. So it's like more dB here or less dB here, louder here, what this week 9, distortion, filling things out a bit more, it seems like. More sub, less compression, more drums. And this was 1 week as well. Nobody is going to get a perfect song in 1 week and not have like flawless mix master as well.
Also, with that last week, that shit, I was put through the ringer essentially. I lost my car in another state. I got all
Yeah.
caught up doing a
And you
bunch of
still
shit.
finished
So
it.
I literally finished it right before we did our session.
Mm.
And I knew certain parts, like sub part, I knew immediately he was going to say that to me because I didn't have anything to reference the track on. So I kept on messing with the sub and I just decided to lower it. And then the first thing he said was like, sub needs to be louder. I was like, God damn it.
There's always going to be something if you're doing it in such a short window of time.
Yeah.
The main thing is ensuring we got the speed there because most
Yeah.
people are taking months at a time to finish a full song. So if we've getting you to a point where you can finish a full song, start to finish, and mix and mastered in a week, you're still ahead of the curve by like 90% of the people out there.
No, after doing that, especially the last 5 weeks, those 4 weeks leading up to the last song, it was cake. It was like a
Yep.
cakewalk. I already, especially saving things from last projects and things that I learned throughout doing this, just applying them, refilling spots, changing it up in different perspectives and aspects.
Absolutely.
Um,
And that's
yeah.
actually a reoccurring thing that I get with every person that comes through this because the reason why we do those first 5 weeks of hard stuff, as in the recreating references, is that when we then move on to doing originals and making our own stuff, we've actually already eliminated all the technical stuff. So we can just be fully creative and that technical stuff no longer slows us down because we've now identified it. So that's the beauty
Yeah.
of it. We've written down all that data. You know what your core
Mhm.
things are. So you
Exactly.
know how to look out for shit now. You know what they
Oh,
are.
no, for sure. That was a big thing. Would it be okay if I just ran downstairs real quick?
Yeah, no
Just
worries.
cake,
No
right? I just
worries.
got to give her something.
No worries.
All right. Sorry about that.
Oh, yeah, no worries. So that's the beauty of having all this data. We can actually quantify what somebody's recurring things are. And now with certainty, you don't have to be reliant on things like feedback sessions or just getting feedback from people, but like main concerns because you know what your main concerns are. It's just those things that we pinpointed. So moving
Yeah.
forward, you can just have a checklist of your recurring problems. Like moving forward, the rest of your career, you know what your core things are. Like that always show
Yeah.
up. So it's just going to be drums and whatever the sub stuff. That's it, really. So
Essentially, yeah.
that's the benefit here. But yeah, the main coaching, what do you feel like was the main things you got out of it?
Main things I got out of it, I definitely say one of them kind of just being confidence, getting more confidence in the sound of everything, being able to, because originally coming into this, I still like put music out. I didn't really show a lot of people music. It was more just like I really love doing this, so I'm gonna just learn as much as I can and keep going. And then lacking a lot of self confidence with it, even though I wasn't showing anybody. But showing a person who's already in it, getting feedback from them definitely helps with knowing like, okay, well, this guy's listening to it, saying positive things and also giving really good constructive criticism. I think I can really build off that and get some more confidence in my sound. The next one for sure being just understanding of arrangement, understanding of where to have certain, I guess, additives to the song, like certain flavor to it. When you have like cut between a drop and a break, or you have like a transition flow into it, or if during the drop you have something just like a transition that leads back into the drop, just like things like that, adding more spice really to the sound and to the song itself. And another thing I'd say is just really just the feedback was huge for me, like, getting to actually work with a knowledgeable instructor that isn't just focusing on you need to learn this, you need to learn this, and this, instead of just hearing what I give him and then being extremely responsive and very helpful with it.
Oh yeah,
And just pointing out the areas of importance rather than areas that are important but not really pertaining to what we're doing.
absolutely.
And trying to think of some more. There was a lot of really good positive things. Just like the biggest one, like I said, just being able to work with somebody that's already a pretty accomplished musician and artist, and just being able to get knowledge and constructive feedback from them was awesome.
And I'm also curious, before you joined the program, much like anybody when you're joining these kind of programs, did you have any skepticism of the program? If
Oh,
so, how was, well, everybody does, right? We all do. If so, how was that also alleviated? How was it covered?
well, one of the big things that alleviated it was the first call I did with you going into it, because I had been going back and forth with some other groups and other places that were offering something like this. But the vibe it gave was like used car salesman vibes,
Yep.
and really, really kind of like you can pay us and we'll teach you some stuff, but we're not really going to dive into a lot of shit.
Yeah.
But after that first call with you, it was pretty straightforward. I'm not here to fuck around. I'm here
Yeah.
to make sure that you get results and that we get results. And that's what I really liked. I'm big into straightforward. So like, we're
Yeah.
very straightforward. And after that, I was pretty much comfortable with what we were doing. I'd say like first 5 weeks of doing the remakes and all the redos, it got a little frustrating because this was something you even said to me. It was like when you're doing it, you're just gonna want to make music. You're gonna want to
Yeah.
make your own shit. And while I was doing it, I'm getting sick of remaking Grizz right now. Like I want to do my own thing. But after doing all that, going into the next round of stuff, it was just like fire
Oh yeah,
immediately.
absolutely. Find pretty much every person I work with does not enjoy the recreations. Maybe there's a few
Yeah, it was
outliers who
the
some reason
first. I
love it.
definitely say the first couple of doing them was cool because it was
Yeah.
like I'd never done that before and I'd never really gone that into depth with it. Then like halfway through, I'm like, damn, I want to just make some music.
Well, we basically get starved so much that when we do end up
Yeah.
we're switching to originals because we've been starved from it so long, we can just fly through it. And that's why it
Oh
became so
yeah.
easy because you're just like you've been starved from being able to be creative properly for so long that you
Oh yeah.
just do fuck tons in a short amount of time.
Oh, it was great being able to reference back to like remakes because there was a lot of stuff while doing the remakes I picked up on that like, probably wouldn't have picked up on without doing it, obviously. But there was a lot of different sound design, structure, arrangement stuff. And I would take that and apply it basically to my new template and just mix it around the way that I found suited to me.
Hmm.
And I thought that was really cool being able to go through a song and really understand it rather than just like, oh, I'll pick this and this out of it. But like breaking it down, I thought it was, don't get me wrong, like I said, wanted to make music, but it was definitely cool doing it because you learned a lot about
Hell
like,
yeah.
that musician compared to others and how they have their structure set up compared to other ones. The big thing I noticed was like Grizz, because I love Grizz. I would remake his songs and then I'd remake like rhythm track. And Grizz's was like very structured. It's on each beat. It's
Hmm.
all to the T. Rhythm track delayed as shit. Everything's all over the place. Can't really keep up with the drums because the drums are all delayed. It's all over the place. But like, compared to somebody like Grizz, very structured.
Absolutely. Stuff is more musically and marketable in the sense that there's actual proper call and responses and certain
Yeah.
cadences that make it super memorable, while rhythm's just like hella sound design. Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's
I
just
agree.
like rhythm's just all over the place, and I
Yeah.
love it. I love both kinds, but like
Yeah,
I like
definitely.
to combine the two of them.
Definitely. So next steps is really the group session. So you've got 12 months of that still to
Mhm.
go through. So that would just start now, still 12 months now, not as in before. So you've done the 10
Yeah.
weeks, now we're going to do 12 months of that. Best bet is just joining as many as possible. If you can't join any of them particularly due to the certain times, just shoot me a message. Like, is any one of them that you really want to check out, but you can't because of timing and you've got some other
Mhm.
commitments, just let me know and I can move some stuff around. The
Yeah.
Artist Launchpad one is literally where all the graduates are. So everyone that's been through this program are hopping in those every week, and it will just give you more confidence and conviction to just keep showing up with new music because that's what everyone else is doing. So you've got like
Yeah.
camaraderie of that. Now that you've learned the skills you've learned, you can bring them to the table and see what else
Mhm.
everyone else is doing too. So every week, everyone's bringing a new song that they finish in that week,
Yeah.
and we'll just do a roundtable thing of just like what improvements could be made, if there's any creative ideas, blah, blah. And that's just going to
Mhm.
push you harder because you know that other people are also fighting to like help with
Oh
what
yeah.
you're doing.
Oh yeah.
So you got that for 12 months, so take advantage. So you got
No,
those.
I
We've also got
I really
feedback
plan on it.
sessions throughout the week as well. So there's a couple of
Uh,
those from another coach that you can join in on. And then there's also I've got like marketing and branding calls. So you can hop in there and ask me any questions you might have about marketing and branding. Generally,
yeah.
there's only a couple of people. Sometimes there's only one person. So
I'm gonna be in that quite a bit because for me, I have no clue about any of that shit. I'm still in a spot where it's like, how am I gonna go about releasing stuff and like what just setting up brand,
yeah,
setting up all of it. Like I don't know anything about none of that.
yeah.
So it's very nerve-wracking, I'd say.
Mm.
But I am now after doing this, I'm pretty damn comfortable with the music. I think it's good. So I definitely want to learn how to like start putting stuff out, branding, marketing, just the whole ins and outs of it.
And we got you covered in that. So we've got those group sessions, and then we've also got the programs as well we can chat about. But for the most part, the main thing is we got the production stuff out of the way, and now you with absolute conviction and confidence that the production is where it needs to be, and what next
Yeah.
steps you need to do is just keep making more shit. Really, it's just really coming down to just because now that you can make stuff fast, you can learn way faster. And if you
Yeah.
learn way faster, then you're ahead of the curve, really. Because most people are taking months at a time to finish a song. It's not even mixed
Mhm.
and mastered, and they're relying on a mastering engineer, let's say, and they're not, because they're taking so long to finish it, that they're losing motivation, and then they're coming back to production. They might go and pick
Yeah.
up. Now they're playing Elden Ring for 200 hours. So, and I'm guilty of that. So, that
Yeah.
firsthand. Yeah,
I,
somebody loses that momentum, it's very hard to get back into it. But yeah, I'm just stoked
well,
you got such a good result out of it.
well, the other thing is like you're saying with the momentum, a big thing I was doing before this was like I'd make a song, that I'd sit on it, and then I'd hate it. 3 weeks later, I'd be like, this sucks. And I've just been redoing the song over and over and over again. And like, I think with stuff like that, it kind of enables me, or not enables, but stops me from being able to do that. Because like going into a session, all right, I just did this track, I'm gonna submit it to the group, see what everybody thinks about it, and then I can base my judgment off that and like just what I gather, instead of just sitting here repeatedly going through it by myself and being like, okay, well, now I want to change the whole thing.